Hello, good morning. Welcome to another Wednesday class. And please say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're from. And we're focusing on the wood element. Kat was chatting about it last week, and we're going to keep things moving along those lines. Oh, hi, James. So we're going to just start by checking in, seeing how we are today, and then we can also check in at the end. I think it'd be nice to see if there's any changes with these gentle movements we're going to be doing this morning. So like Kat was saying about last week with wood, it's meant to be spring-like, although it's turned very wintry right now. But with these, with the flowers and everything starting to pop up, we can kind of imagine that spring is hopefully on its way. So we're going to start just by checking in with our body. And so if you can do this sitting up or standing up, whatever feels better. Diana's in the chat today, so if you've got any questions, she can help you out. So just standing or sitting, taking some easy breaths. We're going to do a scan as if you were putting like a photocopier through your body, just going from the top to the bottom, scanning through, and just noticing if there's any areas that feel a bit stiff or held. Are there any areas that feel a bit detached? Sometimes you can feel like you're just not connecting with that area. And then just make a note of that. And then we'll just check in like we do with our 3 burners and just notice if there's any difference between the different areas. Good morning, everyone. So again, we're just going to take some breaths, some easy breaths. And then just placing your hand over your lower burner, just between your navel and your perineum. And just notice what's the landscape like there. And then taking your hands up to your middle burner, between your navel and your chest. And just notice, what is it like there? This is often described as the cauldron. This is where all your digestive process happens. And then taking your hands to your upper chest, your upper burner. Just notice what's going on there. Okay, so we'll just do a quick survey of who's here today and just a quick poll to see which burner you want to work on most today, just so we can tailor the class a bit. So hopefully the poll is working for everybody. I know it can be tricky on some devices. So that's interesting. So 50% of people said they want to work on the upper burner, and do say in the chat why, if there's anything that's going on for you there or how it feels. And then it's just 14% on the lower and 36% on the middle. So we will think about this, the upper chest, and I think I've got some nice ideas for that. Great. And then I just want to check just check in with how everybody's doing, and maybe this has something to do with the upper burner. How are you coping at the moment? On a level of stress from 1 to 10, are you very stressed? Are you stressed? Are you neutral? Feeling all right today? Are you okay? Or are you coping well? You're doing well. just be interesting to see if this has anything to do with what's going on with the upper burner. Okay, so we have over half of you who are stressed or very stressed. So that might have something to do with why people are struggling with the upper burner. Okay, so we're going to first of all, just get the energy moving. I find this, we're going to do some doing, starting from the top and working all the way down. And this is great just to get everything moving. It's a really lovely exercise if you are feeling stressed, because it brings you back into your body. So often when we're stressed, we can feel a bit dissociative or not in our body, or finding it difficult to connect with our breath. So we're going to work from the top all the way down. And we're going to pay specific attention to the gallbladder and the liver channels, which are the meridians of the wood element. This is wonderful at this time of year. Like I said, it's springtime. We want to get everything going. We want to get also warming everything up. And by supporting the smooth flow of Qi through our body, we're going to be tonifying the liver and the gallbladder meridians. So we often get stiff joints, or we feel nauseous. We can feel get headaches, especially at the side of our heads, when the liver and the gallbladder meridians are affected. So let's focus on those and get the Qi moving. So we're going to start at the top. It's really good to just tap around the top. This point right at the top is where, in Qi Gong, this is where you imagine the Qi coming down, entering into your body from up above. So it's really good to check in with that, make sure it's really opening up, ready to receive. Down the sides, all the way down to the back of the neck. And then coming around the ears, okay? So we're going to start around the temples, all the way back, a bit higher up. And if it feels nice, you can actually squeeze, starting at the side of the temples and just squeezing all the way around. It's quite interesting how much pressure we can actually put around the skull, and that actually feels very nice and very comforting. And we're really going to squeeze the neck either side, so you can just make a squeezing motion with your hand, grabbing either side of your neck like this. Starting from the top, because often we can get headaches and it's actually tension in the neck or around the base of the occiput, the base of the skull. So I'm going to spend a few moments here getting this moving, really working on getting the blood flow, increasing the blood flow in the area. Already I can feel the tension easing and my breath becoming lower just by doing this. And we can also work on the SCM muscle. So this, giving this a squeeze here, working all the way down on both sides. This is really great because as we all focusing, say on our computers or on our work, this can often get quite tight. So it's really good to keep it mobile, keep the energy, keep the blood flowing, keep this muscle soft. Might feel uncomfortable to do two sides at once. I do find it easier to do one at a time. And then also just doing some gentle stroking. Just notice, I often find with clients it can be very, very tight at the point where it connects with the base of the skull here. So again, we can work here. And actually the gallbladder points run behind this muscle, so you can also press in there. Press in the point behind the SCM muscle. How does that feel for you? Just behind here. and working down. And then when we come to the shoulders, we can do a similar thing. The gallbladder comes right across the top. So it's this top point that if your energy is out of balance and the wood energy is coming up very strongly, then you can feel it very tight up here when you get very stressed. So just massaging across here. Just if it's easy, you can kind of like take a handful of the top of your shoulder, give it a squeeze on both sides. Now you can take one hand, take the elbow, and then you can do some dough-in right across the shoulder. You might want to start off very gently because if it is tense, it will be very painful. So just taking an easy fist and just creating space. I like to think about it, just creating space. And swapping sides. And then we're going to come down the arms and down the outside, up the inside, across the chest. This is great if you've got any upper chest things going on. And for those people with the upper burner struggling, really creating space in your chest. And down the top of your shoulder, all the way down the outside of your arm. And up the inside, creating space. It's quite nice to make a noise and just notice what happens. One more time, down the outside and up the inside. Just relax your arms by your side and just notice if you feel any difference between the right and the left side. Any difference in your upper chest. Then I'm going to go on to the other side. Just it's time for the squeeze and then going down the outside. Nice loose fists, and you can go as lightly or as hard as you like. And if this feels like too much, you can also do sweeping. Sweeping up and sweeping down. It's very nice for your nervous system, very calming for your nervous system. But if you really want to create space and you feel like you're up for it today, I'm going to go to the dough-in. Into the chest, creating a bit of sound if it feels nice. Humming is also great for your nervous system, so again, it's a nice thing to do. One more time, down the outside and up the inside. I'm going to beat the chest a little bit, coming down in between breaths area, down the CV channel. And then just brushing off. And then coming to the sides of the body. Your gallbladder comes all the way down here. And so we really want to support this. And like you did last time, we went into the gallbladder 30 point last time. Just creating space. This can feel quite tight in some people around the hip area. And like we know, when we're stressed, we often hold tension up in our upper shoulders, but also around your hips. And I find that actually when we're in social situations, if there's something that we feel like we can't say, or if we're feeling stressed and we want to try and take control back, if we're feeling like we're losing it, we often hold our hips. So it's really good to remind your hips, it's safe to let go. Stand down and be easy. I'm going to go all the way down. Down the outside edge, and then up the inside. So the liver channel runs on the inside, just behind this muscle. You can feel this chunky muscle here. It's just behind there. Let's go up the inside, round into the hips. You can often be quite firm around here. And just go to where it feels nice. Go to where it feels good for you. Feels really nice for me on the top, around my sacrum. Gallbladder, and down the sides of the legs. And up the inside. And one more time. And then if you've got somebody with you, you can do each other's backs, which is really nice, doing doing down the spine. If you don't, then you can follow me. Just going to do a little bit of doing, just really gently around the kidneys, around the sacrum, and again, starting from down, and brush off. Okay, and just before we go to the feet, we're just going to do some really gentle swaying from side to side. So just imagining the point is kidney 1 point, that's just behind the ball of the foot, just that midline point right there. We're going to imagine that opening up to the ground as if it's roots going down into the earth. We're going to create these roots, and then we're going to imagine your body is a tree, but one that can sway. Okay, so we're going to imagine like we're a willow tree or something like this. I'm just going to sway from side to side. So all of these twists, anything that works, it's almost like the twist is almost like a rinsing. So it's a really nice like detox for your body, getting everything like wringing out, moving your blood, moving your tissues. So you're like physically detoxing your body. And this is great for your liver and your gallbladder meridians. So feeling very soft in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips. And just swaying your whole shoulders, arms from side to side. And just looking as well with your eyes over your shoulder. And then coming to slowly just coming to a pause. Taking a few breaths just to help everything settle. And just take a moment to scan again from the top to the bottom. And just notice if there's any changes. Okay, so we're going to come to the feet. We're going to spend a bit of time on the feet today. So we really want to work on the grounding aspect. This kind of like this idea of rooting down. Let's give a little bit more space down here. Okay, so the point of the week today, let me just grab it up on the screen for you. See if it comes up. Here we go. So the point of the week today is gallbladder 40. So again, with the points that are most distal, this is going to be a point that's great for things that are happening all the way along the channel. So as we just worked now from around the eye, around the top of the head, around the shoulder, around the chest, and coming down around the hip, all the way down to gallbladder 40. This point is going to help anything along the channel, but also it's going to be great for things that are happening up at this part of the top part of your body, basically, because the points that are most distal have the most effect and most powerful for these areas. And so how to find it with the gallbladder 40, you can imagine, as you can see on your screen, if you imagine the outer ankle was like a square, it's on the it is basically just in front and below the ankle bone. So it's the point that's in front of it and below it, as if, and it's like there's a little depression there. And if you can find it, let me know if you're having any trouble. If you can see, I'll just stop sharing this for one moment. So how I find it on myself, I imagine like there's a box around my ankle like this, and it's the front lower corner of the box in front of the ankle. There we go. And you work it by pressing into that place. You should find a little depression there. Come on. And the idea is you're just using your thumb or a finger and pressing in. And you imagine the whole meridian is being lit up when you're holding this point. So it's also great for local issues if you've got anything going on with your ankle. If you've got any foot cramp, things like that going on. And then the last point here, it says alleviates vomiting and acid reflux, especially connected with stress. So the idea is that the liver, the wood element has this upward motion, but when it's out of check and in the and when we're stressed, it affects our stomach. So stomach becomes a bit weaker, and the Chinese say the liver invades the stomach. So that's why you get this acid reflux or the vomiting. So it's affecting the stomach and it's coming up. So that's why it's really great to work these points if you are feeling stressed and these are your symptoms. Working these points in your lower body. So this gallbladder point is one of the great ones to press. Okay, now we're going to work into, make sure you did both sides, by the way. Okay, we're going to work into the feet. We're going to really work to open up, create space in between the toes. So just massaging, warming your feet up. I don't know who else, but a lot of people are getting very cold hands and feet in this weather. So just creating a lot of space between your toes. And again, working on your feet really does bring the energy down from the top of the body. So if it's got a bit stuck in this upper burner, it's really great to bring it down, focus on these points. And you can just imagine, like we were talking about this point at the top of your head, just imagine this energy coming down. Your body's being fed and nourished with this energy, and it's coming all the way down to your feet. And then working all the way out to each toe. And then massaging across the ball of your foot. And then across the top, just where the foot meets the toes. Just enjoying this massage for yourself. And then around the heel. And then down the midline. And then again, we were talking about earlier, this kidney 1 point. That's just in the middle of the foot, underneath the ball. And really work to open this up. And again, when this is open and we're feeling very connected with the earth, it really helps bring the energy down, bring the anxiety down, release tension in the upper body. And we're going to swap over onto the other foot. Again, creating space in between your toes, in between the bones of the foot. All the way to your toes. Giving each toe a little stretch and pull. Okay, and massaging the base of all these paddy areas underneath the ball of your foot. Across the pads of your foot and the top. Just at the base of the toes, pressing in and down. Giving a stretch around the heel. And then down the midline. So coming to this point, this kidney 1 point, again, helping our body ground, helping it release any stress it's been holding on to. So with Chinese medicine, they say that when you breathe in, the oxygen, the air comes all the way down, and this energy, this breath needs to come all the way down and be grasped by the kidneys. That's why these kidney points are so great, especially on the feet, because we really imagine it coming all the way down to your feet and energizing your whole body. So I feel like even just pressing these points, my breathing has already changed. That's great. James said in the chat he's already having the releases happening, so that's wonderful. Sometimes it takes a few different exercises for our body to get into that. Okay, so just for those people who found that the upper chest, this upper burner area was struggling, we're going to do a few extra exercises just here. First of all, we're going to get into the chest. So rotating your shoulders forward, up and back. So we're just going, by doing this, creating space, getting the blood flow going. And then we're going to do a gentle twist for this area. So placing one hand, I'm going to place my right hand behind me and then the other hand to the opposite knee. And you can just imagine you're being, as if your vertebrae were like a string of pearls. Just imagine them hanging from the top, so your spine is very straight, your vertebrae are stacked. And as you take some breaths, on the out breath, see if you can just release a little bit more to that side. You might find a little bit of movement on the inhale and the exhale, coming in and out of this stretch. And then coming to center, I'm just going to do a little cat-cow, so just Stretch. Imagine the back of the ribs pulling back. Letting your head sink down, feeling that stretch at the back of the neck. And then coming forward gently. Imagine the front of the ribs coming forward. Just one more time, just gently stretching out the back. And then coming forward. And creating space, more space in your chest. And forward. And then again, on this axis, on the string of pearls, lifting your head up a little bit. Imagine this point being pulled up to the ceiling. And then we're going to turn to the other side. So that hand, my left hand, is coming round behind me. And then opposite arm to opposite knee. And again, just feeling that movement. On the inhale, you might move back. And on the exhale, coming into that movement a little bit more. And taking some deep breaths in this position. Just notice if there's any holding in your hips, and again, just on the exhale, just releasing that. Just one more breath in this position, and again, just seeing if there's any more movement that can happen into this twist. And then coming back to center. And again, just to do something symmetrical, we'll do a cat-cow, pulling your ribs back. And then forward. And back. And forward. And then we're going to work a little bit more into the sides of the body. So placing one hand down and the other hand reaching up. And just seeing how high, how far you can reach up to the ceiling. And already you're probably feeling this stretch in this side body. And then as your hand on the floor slides out, so you're very supported. Your lower back is supported. Just see how much space can be created just by reaching up towards the ceiling. And I've even got my hand turned up towards the ceiling, just reaching up. And then when you come out of this, you're going to reach up, and then imagine you're reaching out towards the wall, and then placing that hand down, and then bringing the opposite side up. Again, reaching your hand out, try and touch the wall, and then up to the ceiling. And already I can feel this is a really nice stretch. And then if you like, you can let the other hand slide out to the side and create more space in this side body. Reaching up, taking some deep breaths. And as you reach up again, reach out to the sides, stretch, 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 placing your hand down. And then again, we're just going to come back into the shoulders, rotating backwards, and this time rotating forwards. Hopefully things are starting to feel much easier now in this upper body. Upper area. Okay, so like we did last time I took the Wednesday class, we're going to do a little bit of breath work. This is wonderful again for this upper chest, and it also just really helps, like if we have, we call them like breathing deviations, if we have the situation that when we get stressed, we just kind of hold our breath, which is very common. This was really wonderful just to help release that, and whatever sort of memory is then held within that space of like holding, then that again just has space to be able to come to the surface and to be released. So this is, take it as easy and as gently as you like. If you've done breath work before, then you can, sort of take it up to another level. But I'm just going to talk you through how we're going to do it. We're going to start placing your hands over your navel. And you might find it useful to close your eyes, just to kind of come into your body, taking your focus into the midline of your body. I'm going to take some deep breaths, but as you breathe in, we're going to imagine you're breathing in like a golden light. And this is filling the space behind your hands, filling the space in your lower abdomen. And like I mentioned earlier, we're going to imagine as the breath comes in, it's going to be grasped by the kidneys. So the kidneys are going to be nourished. Taking some deep breaths into the lower abdomen. On each inhale, you can imagine this light is increasing. Then we're going to bring our hands to the sides, to the lateral aspect of your ribs. If this is comfortable, we might even want to place your hands like this if that's a bit too much, but just coming so you've got a bit of pressure on the side of your ribs. And now as you breathe in, you can imagine you're breathing in this light into the space between your ribs. And your ribs are going to go out. Your ribs are going to push out horizontally. I just imagine an accordion when I'm doing this, as if everything's expanding out and everything's then contracting in. You're really taking a lot of energy, a lot of oxygen. Just imagine this light filling up the space between your two hands. Really helping the diaphragm release and relax. Sometimes as more oxygen is coming into the body, we can feel a little bit lightheaded. So just make sure you're sitting down or even lying down at this point. So your ribs are really pushing your hands away in the inhale, and then relaxing, coming in on the exhale. Now we're going to place our hands to your upper chest. And again, we're going to breathe in this light into your upper chest. And like I mentioned last time, it often gets forgotten about, or we think that, or we think that it's better just to breathe into your lower abdomen. And I was definitely I definitely thought like that before. But now I really enjoy breathing into my upper chest as well as all the other areas. It's really like sending messages to your body that you're taking on life, that you're really breathing in to your fullest, to your max. And that's exactly the sort of attitude that we can have towards life. Really enjoying it to the max. Allowing like the best, allowing all the good stuff in. Okay, so we're going to place our hands, especially like underneath your clavicles. We really want to feel your hands rise and fall on each inhale and exhale. Filling the space up with this nice glowing light. Each inhale, your chest rises, and the exhale, it falls. Great, good job. Okay, so now we've taken our mind to all these three different areas. Now we're going to imagine we're breathing in horizontally, so all the areas at one time, And we're going to imagine all three areas are filling up with this golden light. So it's almost like this egg shape of light coming into your body. I'm going to do a nice exercise, which is imagining this egg, this oval, is expanding on the inhale to come and encompass your whole body. So not only just your physical body, but it can also come around almost like an egg shape all around your body. So coming out, call it like your Qi body. So it's the space around your body. So on the inhale, you can imagine this balloon, if you like, this egg shape is coming out. And the exhale, imagine it coming in closer to your body. So just this expansion and contraction. This is a very healing exercise, because I just imagine energy coming into my body and then energy being released. And what happens is then you have a really lovely exchange of energy. So anything that's stuck, I imagine it's getting unstuck. So when I breathe in energy, I'm being flooded. And when I breathe out and it's contracted, I'm releasing anything that's no longer serving me. So I have quite a visual brain. So I quite enjoy that image of expansion and contraction, of like inhaling, of absorbing, and then exhaling and releasing. So it's this sort of motion of in and out. Okay, so place your hands wherever's comfortable for you. You might want to place one hand on your abdomen, one hand on your chest, or both hands on your abdomen. I'm just going to place my hands on my knees and just imagine this ball of energy, where you can also do this motion. You can imagine expanding and contracting like this. So on the inhale, breathing into your lower abdomen, the sides of your ribs and your upper chest. Expanding this light out. And the exhale, imagine it contracting in, just coming in to encompass your body. Breathing in, expanding, coming out into this Qi body that's like half a meter all around you. And the exhale, bringing this, contracting it in, releasing anything you no longer need. Breathing in, inhaling, expanding, and exhaling, releasing, contracting. I'm going to do this for as long as feels comfortable for you. And what's quite nice, like a nice exercise to do, is to cut out any pause. So instead of inhaling, and holding, we're just going to inhale to the max, to a maximum point, and then we're just going to release it, like let it go. And this just sends a really nice signal to your body that you're free to let go, that it's easy to let go. So inhaling, absorbing all the goodness that's around you, all of the nature's Qi coming into your body, expanding your body Qi field. And then as you release, just really taking an easy exhale, no effort, releasing anything that's no longer serving you. And then when you finish your exhale, we're going to take an easy inhale. So again, not pausing. And you might find yourself getting a little lightheaded, your body's getting tingly, and this is just because they're putting more oxygen into your body. So if it's comfortable, we're just going to keep going with that. Expanding out, and then releasing, contracting in. We're freeing up your whole breathing mechanism. So any areas that you were a bit held or tense before, we're just releasing them, letting them go with zero effort. Just enjoying this exchange of this inhale and exhale, exchange of energy with the Qi, this energy that's around you, this vital energy that your body's being nourished by. And I just imagine as I'm breathing in, as my body's filling with energy, I imagine all my cells like buzzing with this oxygen, buzzing with this light, just really vibrating. Taking easy exhales. I often find that when I come into this breathing, it's like I imagine it like this circular breathing with no pausing. So we're not stopping at the top or the bottom on the inhale or exhale. It's just an easy breath. Sometimes that tingling often like makes my lips tingle, makes my fingers tingle. And that's okay. That's good. It means that something's changing, something's happening. I'm just going to keep breathing, keep going with this. And you can really play with it. If there was an area that you found was standing out to you earlier, as you breathe in, you can breathe into that area in particular. Imagine it expanding. And on the exhale, imagine it contracting, releasing whatever was there. Or similarly, if you felt like there was an area that needed more energy, that felt a little bit weaker, on the inhale, we're going to really send energy there, nourishing the area. And as we know, wherever your mind goes, that's where the Qi flows. And wherever the Qi flows, that's where the blood flows. So even taking your attention to one particular area, already nourishing it. And just having a few more moments for this practice. Okay, just coming to your relaxed breath, just whatever feels comfortable for you. And starting to move your fingers, your toes, some movement back into your body. We've been sitting still for a few moments. Just whatever, just creating space again, coming up into your upper chest again. Some weird chicken motions. I quite like this one, some swimming, forward swimming, some backward swimming, really creating space. Okay, how's everybody doing? Okay, lovely heart in the chat from Dinah. Okay, so now we're going to finish today with some shaking. As the Chinese say, shaking cures 1,000 diseases. So it's a really great way to get into your body and to release anything that might be getting stuck, and also energize any areas that need it. So do take it easy. If you want to stay sitting, you can do this. You can just do some more to bringing more Qi to different areas. You can do rubbing instead. So just do whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to enjoy some shaking. Change my camera angle. Okay, so if it feels good standing up, and already I can feel my hips from sitting down want a little bit of attention, so I'm definitely going to go there later. And starting from the top again, we're just going to bring some movement into the face. So I find it quite useful to like fill my cheeks up with lots of with a big deep breath, and just move the air around, really get my cheeks moving. I'm gonna just massage my jaw, just really get it moving. And then I'm going to start with your right hand, shaking your fingers. Taking some deep breaths out, releasing, creating more space. space into the lower arm. Again, some more crazy chicken vibes. Going up into your upper arm. Really shaking off. Coming into your shoulder. As big a motion as you can. Whatever feels good. Forwards. And again, you can just check in with your body. How does the left feel to your right after doing that? And then we're going to start with your left hand, shaking off. Creating space, letting go. Coming into the lower arm. Creating space. Gosh, it looks weird. Up into your upper arm. This real fluid movements that look rather silly. And then up into your shoulder, up into your shoulder joint. Backwards and forwards. And then coming up into your upper chest. Creating space. Again, turning from side to side, getting some movement. Chest. We're going to come to the hips. Placing your hands on your hips. Just rotating, creating space here. Both sides. And now we're going to start with your feet. So we're going to root down into one side. Imagine that kidney 1 opening up to the earth and lifting up the other one, shaking off the toes. All directions. Coming into your ankle, shaking your ankle out. And you're literally going to imagine like the muscles of your lower leg are being shaken off. You're really going to create space in your lower leg. Up into your upper leg. These big muscles all around the front and back of your leg. Again, shaking off. Coming up into your hip. If it feels nice, bringing your knee up to your chest and then bringing it across. Just seeing if you can create a little bit more space in the front of your hip here. And then shaking it out. And bringing your foot behind and holding it. If it's comfortable, obviously hold onto a wall if it feels better, or hold onto a chair. And then we're just going to allow your pelvis to come down, and then as if you're tucking your pelvis forward, just to create a little bit more of a stretch on the front here, if you want it. All these hip openers, these hip movements are really great for your vagus nerve. So you're going to bring your knee up again to your chest, and this can be done sitting down as well. Feels good as well. Bringing it out, opening up, and down, and just shaking off. See how much time we've got. Give you 1 minute. Okay, how do they feel? How does the left compare to the right? So I feel like my right leg is like twice the size of my left now. So let's go on to the other side. Again, opening up that kidney 1 point, rooting down, and then lifting up your foot. Just really imagine shaking off those toes to the ankle, to the lower leg. Literally imagine like you're shaking off the muscles, creating so much space there. And then coming up into your upper leg. Imagine these big muscles being released, allowing them to relax. And then you come into some circles, bringing your knee up to your chest. And again, like I said, you can sit down doing this. It also feels really nice. Bringing it across to the side. Again, just doing some whatever feels good. Sometimes it looks a bit weird, but whatever feels good. Creating space in your hip joint. Again, bringing it up to the front. and to the side. And then just to really give a nice stretch here, bringing your foot to the back. And if it feels good, you can tuck your pelvis under. Imagine your coccyx coming down to the ground. And this just creates a little bit more extra stretch in the front here. And then shaking that off. Okay, so how does that feel? Just closing your eyes and scanning from the top to the bottom. Taking some deep breaths. So I'm just going to do a quick poll just to see how are you doing? How do you feel now? Just to check in with the group. How are you feeling? Are you feeling more balanced, about the same, or less balanced from when we started? Oh, great. So 100% of people are feeling more balanced. Wonderful. So like a lot of people give us feedback that they watch the videos sort of other times other than Wednesdays. You know, these are things that you can just check in. If there's anything that you liked from any of the Wednesday classes, you can just check back in and do those practices. I find the breath work is a really great one if you do want to change your energy, but you're in a place where you can't get up and start shaking and dancing around, then it's also a great one to do. So if you're like sitting on a train, or if you're lying in bed, or you are waiting for somebody, or you're in a waiting room, I just find it such a wonderful thing to do. I literally just imagining my body expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. And just by doing that, you're giving yourself a shift. And also just doing that practice of, doing a bit of breath work practice, of not having any pauses on inhale and exhale. Again, it's just sending messages to your body that it's free, you're safe, you can breathe easily, you don't have to hold on. So it's often like when we get into that stress state, we kind of hold, it's like coming into, it's like quite a protective way of, sort of making sure that you're like super alert, but actually it does the opposite, it's stopping the blood flow, the oxygen flow. So just remind yourself, just notice over the next few days when you're going about your business, remind yourself to breathe, and just notice when maybe you have, that you have stopped. Oh, lovely. Oh, thank you so much. So many hearts in the chat. That's so sweet. It's been such a pleasure to be with you all this morning, and you have got another wonderful Wednesday class next week, and enjoy your week. Take it easy. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Oh, thank you so much, Dinah, for being on the chat and keeping me company, and we will see you next week. Take care. Oh, I'm going to end the session. See how I can do this.